I'm glad you pooped.
I pooped it. I got a star in my doo-doo journal.
Welcome to the darkness.
I have the hardest time getting us to go live before you say something, Max.
I told you, if we're out of toilet paper, use a sock.
Oh my God.
Journaling is one of the best activities for mental health. That's all I got to say.
All I got to say.
Hey, Pac-Man's back. Hey.
What up, Pac?
Hey.
So tonight we're going to continue because we're a paranormal show. It's what we do the best. We're going to talk about paranormal cases, our own experiences, different cases that. Did you hear that? These cats are tearing this house apart.
I didn't hear anything.
Wow.
Crazy.
I heard that.
Easy. So, I love them so much. Anyway, there's different cases, and I know that Doc's got personal stuff, a case that he just did.
Oh boy, do I got personal stuff.
Yeah.
boy.
So,
Yeah,
who wants to go first?
whoa. Easy there, big fella.
Doc, do
Family
you want to
show.
go? You're like,
Yeah, I don't mind going first.
All
Go.
right, do this.
Besides my own personal stuff, the paranormal stuff is even better. But so we went on an investigation last Friday, but I've got to rewind it even before that, because we went to the same location. I think it was at the beginning of or at the end of summer last year.
It was, I think so.
Yeah, it was at Minidoka School. And boy, when we went there, it was just, rainbows and it was the wonderful little spirits of children playing and communicating, and it was really active. Nothing really nefarious, nothing diabolical, anything like that. I mean, we ran into the spirits of some old teachers that used to work there, and they were just really happy to communicate. And I remember they were drawing a lot of energy out of me to the point where I almost passed out. You remember that, Colleen? It was
we were having a hard time.
But again, that was my first investigation, so I hadn't really learned how to control my energy and energy suckers like pulling my energy out, and at that time I was so excited. I was just like, free energy for everybody. Come on, everybody can come on up and take it, and it's all good. This time when we went, we got a little background on what was going on in the school, and apparently some older children were playing. It's called Charlie Charlie. It's kind of a game where it's like the Ouija board, I guess, where they put some pencils together and they call spirits out to come and talk. Bad place to do it because that school is extremely active. That was the background that we got after we had already started. So I'm walking into this Yes, ma'am.
When would they have the opportunity to do that on the school campus? Like
After school?
During the break. It was during the break.
Like an Easter break.
I think it was the first time was summer vacation, like at the end.
So the school is open for the kids to go in and out?
No. It was late at night. There was no this time when we went. It was, I believe, spring break.
Yeah, but I'm asking, like, when would the kids have had the opportunity to go play this game? Isn't the school?
They were playing it during school time. The teachers caught them and let them know, hey, you guys are not doing that during our class.
Okay.
Some of the teachers sat around and watched them do it, and well, we all know how active that school is. The actual pencils were moving according to the school and responding to these kids.
Okay.
Kids opened the portal and were asking questions, and they were answering.
Yeah.
Some of the teachers really freaked out, and they told them, "You guys are not going to be doing this anymore. That is absolutely not going to happen." When we went into the room that they were doing that in, as soon as we got in there, the EMF detectors are just going wild. It is a funnel of energy in there where I got so dizzy, and it was just a spiral. And once we got in there and once we got set up, the TV came on by itself, turned off, came on, and it just stayed on through the whole investigation. And every once in a while, after we would be asking it questions, I'm getting ahead of myself, but the TV continued to turn itself off and turn itself back on, and it was just live in there.
Wow.
So we ended up pinpointing it where they were, and it was on each corner of the room where they were playing this game, Charlie Charlie. Apparently, they opened a portal, and this entity that he called himself Jack during the interview, and he was not very friendly. Said a lot of choice words, curse words, and yeah. And he hid inside a dark poster of Jack from the Pirates of the Caribbean that they had in a corner. So I'm assuming that's why he was calling himself Jack. Either that was the name he was going by, or it was going by at that time.
Wow.
But each corner of the room was extremely active. It was just, it was
crazy.
A whole different energy. Going in there, anticipating talking to the children, and it being a fun evening like it was before, and catching this portion of it was really different. We went down to the principal's office. Near the principal's office, we ran into another entity that was in there, and ended up that he liked to follow the young children into the restroom.
Oh.
And it was a creepy entity.
That's not nice.
Didn't we run into him last time?
We did, but he didn't speak much last time. This time there was other entities, and I think it was the teacher from upstairs that was following him around, and she was protecting the children from him. So he talked for a little bit, but they wouldn't let him. They would block, and they would get in between, and they were just giving him heck for being there. But it was an interesting investigation. I caught a whole different side to where I'd never seen actual, or heard of even actual spirits protecting the living from malignant entities and malignant spirits before.
Yes,
where they'll come up and let you know that, this guy's a creep, and we're not letting him do what he wants.
Right.
So it was a very, very interesting investigation.
Yeah, that's cool. And that goes to show you, this isn't a science. It'll never be a science, because we can't get the same results every time we go. There may be times you go to that school and it is quiet and you just would fall asleep. Probably not. I mean, that school's really active, but there could be those times. There's times where, okay, now you had this really heavy presence going on. And when we were there before, it was really light, and we did have the guy in the ball field.
Yeah. Yes.
I could fall asleep there.
You have,
I could.
you didn't
I
have
could
any.
No. But the problem with falling asleep around you people, yeah, yeah, yeah. Never be the first to fall asleep, Packy. I'm just saying. Especially when you have friends.
Yeah, it's
Friends with a Sharpie.
you never know what you're going to run into or who you're going to run into or what the tone of the evening's going to be like. We've gone into houses where people have called us in and it sounds like Dead Uncle Fred, no big deal. And to a lot of people, Dead Uncle Fred is a big deal, but to us, he's not a big deal. He's your dead Uncle Fred. It's not a big deal. It's grandma. It's, it's whatever.
Mhm.
But then you get to the house and it's bad.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, like it's bad. It's really bad. But you don't want to scare the client. You don't want them to be so freaked out that they flee their own home. So you got to try to figure out how to work it and try to get it calmed down. Yeah. And then the cleansing comes later. Is that something you're thinking about doing at the school?
We already talked to one of the teachers inside the room. She is a religious lady, and we talked to her about cleansing that room and how to do it. And if she needed help, to go ahead and give me a call, and I would be happy to go over there and do that in our own time and whatnot. But she seemed really receptive, and even that same evening we went to Proactive Physical Therapy office, and there was a Dead Uncle Fred. It was a family member to one of the clinicians, one of the people on my team, as a matter of fact. Shout out to Lisette. And it ended up a family member that was near and dear to her, protecting her. And he's there. And I go there for therapy myself. And another member of my team works there, my lovely wife. And there's been times where, I caught him out of the corner of my eye where, yep, there he is walking around.
So when we did when our group was with your group that night, we had left a cat ball there. Yeah. Did anything ever happen with that cat ball? I think we left it in an orchestra room,
the orchestra band room, something like that.
Orchestra band room. That little boy, the one that we had talked to that night, I believe his name was Juan. Came through a little bit, but not. Yeah, I think the other entities kind of pushed him aside. There was quite a few of them there trying to break through, trying to talk, but the main ones were malignant that took over, and then you had the protectors that would kind of get in the way as well.
Yeah, you'll find that a lot of the kids will flee when you have anything dark come through. We had that there was an old school down in Logan that's no longer a school. It's just a building. And we worked that case probably 15 years ago. And there was a lot of kids' spirits in that school, but there was a really dark presence in the gymnasium area. And so the kids would not, they stayed upstairs. It was a 2-story schoolhouse, like an old schoolhouse. And the kids were upstairs with a teacher who passed away.
With the protector. Yeah.
Their protector. She kept the distance between the kids and this dude who was probably just a really ticked off janitor who was still cleaning. You know what I mean? And the 2 floors did not mingle at all. And we've seen that in homes too.
I was going to say that's kind of common, especially in that kind of a setting, isn't it? If you do have, especially the younger children that for whatever reason, fever, flood, whatever happened, and they all passed away. They all joined back in a very common place that they know, and if there's like you said, a creep or a jerk or whatever terminology you want to use, you know, they're usually separated by that other protector ghost, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we find that kids will go to places where there's children, usually homes with kids. Schools are great. I mean, come on, full of kids,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
But they're going to want to hang out. The child's spirit is they're usually not with their family in those
Right.
situations where there's. Some people say it's because there was a tragic death, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case. But somehow they got separated from their family unit somehow.
I think
And so
during
they-
our first investigation, we had well, the entity of the little boy Juan stated that he had drowned in a nearby
in the river?
wasn't it?
In
Yeah,
the river.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, so not in every case when I've talked to them, if something tragic happened, sometimes they don't know what happened. They don't even know they're gone.
Yeah.
They
That's
don't
kinda
know they're
sad.
gone. It is sad.
Mm.
And the kids are the ones that bother me. I get really emotional
Yeah.
around them because that's why they go to places with other children who are living, because they want to
They
be
think- sure.
Included.
around their peers, and
Right.
you'll find a nanny will attach themselves. It's usually a female nanny kind of spirit who will, particularly in the house, if you have a child who's haunting the house, usually the nanny comes in to protect the child. And so, yeah, like the nanny knows she's gone and she knows the child's gone, but maybe the child doesn't know that they're gone. I mean, they just sometimes just don't understand what's happening at all.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that goes back to the old question. When you die, when you pass away, whatever verbiage you want to use, do you stay in the place that you passed away at? B, go to another place, like you said, especially with children? Or C, do you go to the rest home? Do you go to the graveyard? And that is a question that I've always wondered. You said that little boy, Juan, died in the river, and then he went over to the school. Why wouldn't he have just went back to his home?
Maybe he couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or in some religions, that kind of haunting is bad because they don't recognize it as Juan. They recognize it as an entity, so they push it away. And,
Oh, wow. Okay.
you know, in some religions, it's like,
and
oh,
some
this is
cultures
bad.
as well too, and
Yes,
and
some
some cultures
cultures.
as well.
So
Like
Well, look
Okay.
at like New Orleans, right? So you had the song, the dirge going to the graveyard. It was a very sad, very somber thing. But on the way back, they played the Dixieland Jazz, and they go a very wild route through the city on the march, so the spirit can find their way back to the house. It's happy, and it breaks up the path back to the house in case they're following the band back to the house. And so there's all of these superstitions about the hauntings, and if he felt unwelcome in his house, he's going to go to where he was welcome.
you,
in his
you look at the
Okay.
Hispanic culture, and you have the Dia de los Muertos, where we have altars where we set up food and we welcome them home. Though I have seen Hispanic family that when they do come home and they make themselves present, oh Lord, you know, they freak out and kick them out. So I could see how one can get lost, especially if they came to visit. And
I would say that in all the calls that we've taken over the years and years doing this, right? Everyone who says it's a demon has been Catholic because they equate demons and angels to them. There's no in between. I don't know if it's just because I don't know this much about Catholicism, only because my mother went to a Catholic school and they were raised in a Catholic family. But she told me, she goes, well, there was no in between. there you have heaven and the angels and God, and then you have the devil and the demons. And so there was no like, if you saw the dead, you're seeing a demon.
And a lot of the beliefs that I understand from the Catholic point of view, and I can be wrong, but and this is from the Catholic point of view of my understanding, was that the human soul is either in purgatory or in heaven. There is no in between,
right?
Waiting for resurrection. So they're gonna say that it was a demon masquerading as your family.
Right.
Do not talk to them because you're inviting demons into your home.
And then one of the Baptist churches I went to, their idea was that we all stayed in a grave until we were beckoned to heaven, and then all at once we were going to go. So there's all of these different beliefs, and you don't know.
Go ahead.
Well, and so I kind of wanted to get back to your point, Max, because one of the first times they made it, I was at the Veterans Memorial here in Pocatello. And I was talking, every time we've done 3 investigations in that building. And each time we asked how many spirits are here. And each time they answered 87. 87.
No
Audibly, you can hear it, 87.
No deviation.
Nope. And so I was talking, so they had like a women's lounge for women military. They had a male lounge, and then they had the bar and the ballroom and all that kind of thing. And so I was talking with one of them, and I could tell he died from like his leg being blown off, because I could feel the pain. It was like, oh my God, it was just so intense. And I had to really breathe through it and figure out it's not my pain. I'm feeling him. So I was talking to him because he really came through really strong. I wasn't even using dowsing rods. I was just talking with him, and I could like see him and hear him. And I said, are you free to go? Like, can you go anywhere? And now I ask this all the time, but this was the first guy I ever asked this to. I don't know why. Maybe I was always on the fence about asking that because it made me question my own beliefs. And I said, can you go anywhere? And he said, yeah. And I said, so you can go like be with your wife right now? And he goes, yeah. And you can choose to be here? Yeah. I said, can you be multiple places at once? He said, no. But he could, like that, he's in Ireland. Like that, he's at home. Like that, he's at the memorial. So it was just like, yeah, wherever we want to be, we are.
Wow. Now, is that true for all ghosts?
I don't know. I've asked many now, because now as I get older, I want to know more. So now I'm like, so is there heaven? And when I ask for the dowsing rods, they always say no. I said, is there hell? And they always say no. I said, do you believe in that? Did you grow up believing in that? And they say yes. And then it's like, so what is there? And they don't know how to answer, kind of like we're just here. Like we're here. So they don't know how to, like, where are you? Well, we're right here. So interesting.
That's wow. Yeah, that is very interesting. So with that thought process, right? Are they in purgatory? Because, and the reason I say that is because purgatory is the place that you go before you're forgiven of all your sins. And that can take, right, exactly. So with that being said, purgatory, everybody is supposed to, and again, Catholicism is such a huge player. And I find it interesting because with Catholicism, like you said, there's the demon aspect, right? There's always that, well, Ed and Lorraine Warren, man, they attacked everything from the Catholicism side.
That's why everything was a demon in their eyes. Because
exactly.
They had that.
Father Malachi, exactly. Same thing. Father Malachi Martin, same thing. They were demon. They were any of the Catholic exorcisms that you see, or that I've heard about or read about, have always, they've all been demons. Now I do know in some of the other religious stuff going on that they're not demons. There's a lot of shadow people. there's a lot of the entities, and I wonder if it's just the same person or the same thing. You just have a different name for it.
I'm wondering, and I'm wondering, because they're talking to the masses, because they're being general, are they being very general where they're just going to classify everything as a demon instead of just saying, well, there's shadow people and teaching a class, and then there's Dead Uncle Fred, and then there's elementals, and then there's this, and then there's that. But, I mean...
I love that comment. Can you read it?
Don't let me over 80.
So I have a question. That's awesome. I have a question though.
That's my dog right there.
That's my dog.
There's my dog. Okay, but I think that entities can portray themselves to Doc as a shadow, and to Max as a full body apparition, and to Mudlover is an orb, and to me as a mist. I think depending on the ability of the person they're communicating with is how they portray themselves and the energy involved to manifest. Because some that we run across are incredibly strong people and they can manifest full body.
Do you believe that if they have the negative energy or the negative intentions, that they can manifest as something positive?
If they're negative spirits?
Yeah.
If they're
I mean, besides mimics and
mimics, they can mimic, certainly.
Okay.
But it's rare. I have to tell you that in all the years I've done this, I've run into only a couple of mimics. In very few cases are there mimics. You know it when you walk in the door. You will know it when you walk in the door because you're instantly like, this is bad, really, really bad. And there's so few places that we go to that we have that experience. They're there, but they're really, really rare. And I think it's on that level, when we have Mark on those kinds of cases. Well, he's our demonologist, but he will bounce them out before he even gets in the room. So sometimes we're like, Mark, let us play with them a little bit before you do that. Because you know what I mean? But there's almost an intent of wanting to draw that into your home for it to be there. You've done something to request that presence there. That's not common. It's not normal.
Whether it be intentional or unintentional, it is inviting it.
Yeah, I would say it would be really, really rare to be unintentional. There's always something you've done. You've made a deal. The deal, like you've called upon something to say, to invite it in. I don't believe that unintentional thoughts or the silly thoughts that we get in our heads sometimes are going to draw those kind of energies in. It is it is an action. I willfully want you to be here because I need your help with something.
That would go back to the deal with the devil.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
The crossroads, the musicians, all of that.
Exactly.
Yep.
So that was going to be my question, because when Celeste was doing some presentations in the classroom, she had said that you can't have a curse put on you. How did she?
Unless you believe it has power,
or you give them permission,
or so you can't. Right. If you tried to curse me, I would just laugh. I'd be like,
well, yeah,
right. They're just saying you have to believe that there's power in it, and you give things power, like tulpas, right? So you can create a tulpa out of your mind, and you create this entity in your head, and you give it enough power, and poof, there it is. And then it goes out and it does its own thing. Right? So you have to be careful. Your thoughts are powerful. So if somebody says, yeah, I curse you, I had to, whatever. Yeah, okay. I don't believe it because I'm powerful, and you can't, So it's
Right.
What if they do it mentally to you and they don't verbally say it?
doesn't matter. I can feel it. I felt someone trying to do something to me lately. A few people. One
But what if
person.
you can't feel it?
Then does it have any power?
Well, see,
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying. Does it have any power? Because
I think that you might you're maybe leaving out the negative entities that may be attached to you that you don't call.
well, yeah, but I don't know that those are necessarily demonic. I don't.
I
know
would
that you
disagree.
have a background of religion that I don't have.
Yeah.
And so I don't look at things as demonic. I look at that, well, that's a negative energy. And people, dead people, dead Uncle Freds can become very dark.
I may be using the wrong terminology, but I do know that there are, and I say demonic because of what I have seen, because the way they presented themselves, because of the materialization that I was most fortunate as a child to see, that they presented themselves as demons and monsters for lack of better terms. I know for
you
a
also
fact
have
that,
extraordinary gifts, Doc.
yeah.
See,
I know for a fact that the energy was definitely malignant. So I mean, I don't think as a child I called any of that on to say that. But again, it wasn't really an attachment to where one specific one was attached to me. It was, I believe, it was more of a peering into it and seeing them when they were there.
Yeah, but not everybody has the amount of gifts that you have.
Exactly.
So,
and you said as a child, because we all know that as children, children are very, they see beyond the veil a lot easier. Now with your gifts, I can imagine that that was tenfold for you. Hey, do you see that guy? No, well, he's standing right here, type that I see dead people type thing, and which is interesting because like I said, it kind of goes back to how you were brought up, with you were talking about, not everybody had their abuela throw the chancla at them,
or roll an egg around their body and
exactly. See, and so that's another thing, because you talk about your abuela, and the egg, was supposed to bring out, right? So if you crack it and you have the black in it, it's supposed to pull that dead spirit or that spirit energy, the bad spirit energy out of you. And that superstitious aspect of it, do we feed into that? Is it true? Because there's a lot of stuff out there that we might call BS on. Oh, that's no. But you know what? Everything's got a little bit of truth in it, and we might have deviated from some stuff.
You were gonna say, Colleen, he caught your attention, and I want you to say it before I do, because I got a feeling I know what you're gonna say.
No, go ahead.
When he talked about the egg rolling on the body.
No,
it didn't catch.
You're not reading me right, Doc.
Okay. And again, that can be interpreted in many different ways. But even to this day, I have started doing that same practice in order to catch negative energy. Negative entities? No, not really. More of the negative energy, more of the energy that has been sent your way, whether it be unintentional or intentional that people send, that you trap it and you flush it down the toilet with a nice bolus of rock salt, and there you go, back to the earth or where you came from.
Yeah,
exactly.
I go out and I shoot targets. I'm just saying, we have different ways of dealing with it. I just get mad, go out and shoot at the range or something. But you know what I'm saying? It's like,
sure,
but you can feel it. But Kim, to your point, like, what happens if you don't know?
Who is this Kim? Who is this Kim you speak of?
My lover. Sorry.
Okay. It's not
Sorry.
a secret.
Oh, sorry.
I'm like, who is Kim?
I'm not
You're not hiding. Anyway.
No.
Okay. Sorry. What was I going to say? Okay. If you don't know that somebody is sending you negative energy, is it still there? I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
But what if
because
things happen to you, start happening?
then,
and
no,
you don't know
because
why.
then you're saying, oh, wait a minute, all of this is happening. There must be something negative going on here. That's where I think it's really important.
I don't know if I believe that, Colleen, because when we were in the class, and I'll give my explanation, then I'll tell you exactly why I believe this. Because you remember how I was in the class. I didn't want to believe it, and I wasn't going to, I was there because my wife took me to the class, and that was where the end of it was going to be. And it wasn't until Gina, Susie, and Jesse got there, and they're reading the room, and I felt their energy, and I felt it pulling and them scanning, and yourself too, during that class. And at that time, did it matter if I believed it or not? No, absolutely not.
Yeah, but you have gifts, Doc.
Okay,
See,
all right.
that's the
I'm
thing.
trying to put myself in
I know, but you can't put yourself in the position of I don't have any gifts, so I can't feel that you're reading this.
Yeah,
Because
you're not
you
a
have
good barometer.
extraordinary gifts.
No.
Where there's people who I call him. I only call him this because this is what we called my brother. He was the dead zone. And because nothing happened to him, he never experienced anything. All of the hauntings in our house, nothing happened. He didn't see it. He didn't, the one night where we had the one night when all hell broke loose. Yes, he experienced that. That was the one and only time. And then he shut it down. He would never have the experiences that you have, Doc, because he is a wall. And it's not going to affect them. He's not going to sense it. He doesn't care.
So is that something
still,
that he
because
put up
even
by
if they
himself?
don't have gifts?
No, I think my mom believed that it was just like a genetic trait with him. Like he was my half brother, so he was very much like his father. He was just closed off to all of that energy. And imagine being my mom with a child like that, my mom, who was incredibly psychic and gifted and a medium, could not ever read him. She couldn't read him ever. He was just
wow.
See, and that's
okay.
Yeah.
That's funny that you say that, because the stuff that I've seen, right, and like I said, and we all know that I worked in jail for a lot of years, and I don't think maybe there's one or two people, Doc. What do you think, that are actually happy about being in jail? But people on the whole do not appreciate, don't like jail. So that's always so negative. So I saw and heard and felt a lot of stuff there. When I got out of that environment, it kind of went away. And it's not for the lack of trying, because I've tried to see things. And I was talking to Mud Lover about this just the other day, and she said, well, maybe you're trying too hard. Maybe you're trying, because when I've been in some pretty, like we talked about last week, I've been in some pretty creepy areas in general. And, it's just because that was what maybe I was at or whatever in that day or that week or that time in my life. But I've tried, oh my gosh, I've tried. When I worked at the port, I actually had somebody walk in the door, walk up the stairs and walk up to the desk, and I turned around, there was nobody there. So, but like I said, oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, so that's an experience.
Yeah, but
I'm wondering though if it's a frame of mind that you get in at that moment to allow the experience to happen, and then you shift out of it pretty quickly. So Phil on our team, right? You've met Phil. He was Phil.
I dig Phil. I dig
Yeah,
Phil.
big Phil, right? So Phil was absolutely, he was our complete skeptic. He didn't believe in any of it, but he wanted to be on the team. Yeah, that's great. I like skeptics, non-believers, believers, whatever. Let's do this. So once he finally had an experience, it started opening him up to more. But he goes in and out. You'll watch him on certain investigations. He's just steady Phil. He's not
Yep.
experiencing anything. He's like, yeah, it was okay. He doesn't say much, goes home. But the next investigation, maybe he's in a different frame of mind and he's actually, the equipment's hitting for him. He's feeling stuff. So I don't know. Maybe with people, certain people like you, Max, that it's a frame of mind you have to get in for a moment. And then you're a pretty realist. You're a very realism, like I get up, go to work, that kind of guy, and I don't know if there's
if he's so grounded,
like super grounded, super
Well,
grounded.
it's funny. It's funny. The guy that called me 80 years old is actually my boss.
Oh,
Carter. Shout out to Carter. Anyway, but when I travel, and you guys know that I traveled a lot, and I'm home for a while, but when I travel, the house, Mud Lover just makes her crazy. Things happen in there, and she hears stuff. But when I come home, it's a rarity that she hears. Now, she might see something while I'm there, but it's a fleeting second. It's very fast. But it's just, I'll be talking to her, the next day, and she's like, oh my God, the weirdest thing, I couldn't find this, or this happened, or this happened. But when I come home, I must be here Superman, right? Well, that was me.
I'm wondering, maybe you are that grounded that you're kind of a repellent. But again, even at a repellent, you are so grounded that you get home and
people
they don't want to be around you.
Coming to my house that they feel the protection from way down the road that I put on the property. Like on the four corners, I'm always thinking about the four corners and protecting my property, and they feel it a mile before they get to my house. They're like, "Ooh." So
see, I don't feel that, and I don't.
You're the one doing it. You're probably doing it subconsciously. Like, you're not going to mess with my house.
Well, it's funny because every night before I go to sleep, I say the white light. There's my white light prayer that I do. And I repeat it 3 times because 3 is whatever kind of number. Right. But it's just so funny because we went in places, Mud Lover and I, and she's like, nope, I can't go in there. Nope, not going to happen. And I'm like, la, 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 look, they have chocolate, And she's like, no. I'm like, come on, just come in here with me. And she's like, nope, give me an iced tea. But she, and that's how common it is for her. We went to a, what was that place in Santa Paula that we went to?
The Glen Tavern?
The Glen Tavern Inn, which is a very old tavern. In fact, that's where, what's her name? Ozzy Osbourne's wife passed out when she was talking to Jack Osbourne. Right. Sure. But anyway, we went in there and I'm walking down this hallway and I always put Mud Lover in front of me. And it's just, and it's only because I'd like to see the barometer, how she reacts to certain things. There was an elk, and this place is supposed to be haunted, just, oh my God, over the top haunted. And I'm like, no, they're going to have toast in the morning, And she's like, yeah, no, there's somebody standing right there. I can't walk by that door. And it doesn't, nothing. And I always think about, because, we've all seen the movies and stuff like that where the ghost is right in your face going, ah! And I'm like,
Well, do you think, Doc? Well, okay, both of you were in law enforcement for some time, right? Um, Okay. Do you think that's the training, the protective, like you because everybody that I've ever known, the only exception was my father. He was a goofball, and it never really stuck. But my mom definitely, she kick your butt. You know what I'm saying? So, is it that training that
I've always seen it, felt it, regardless. And regardless of whether I was on duty, off duty, it didn't matter. Now, how I reacted to it, if I kept my military bearing or my professionalism, and they could be yelling in my face, and I'm focused on the reality at hand, not everything else, is a different story.
do you? Because I turn it on and off. Like I am pretty closed off, except when I'm on an investigation or someone's talking to me for help, calling for help for the team, and then I just open myself up right then and there to talk with them to try to get insights. Things like I told you, there was a person who passed away on our freeway a few days ago, and I immediately knew it was somebody I worked with, and it was. I knew. I was waiting for coworkers to come in because I was on pins and needles. I'm like, it's somebody I worked with, and I knew. Like, boom, I knew that there was a guy.
That was the guy on the interstate the other morning.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I passed that.
Yeah, I was waiting for everybody to come in. I had it wrong as far as the closeness of it was somebody. He was somebody that I met with on different projects. So I had worked with him quite a bit on a particular project. So I knew it was somebody I worked with, but I couldn't. I'm like, I couldn't get a pin on who it was. And so as people started checking in, and I kept watching that in and out board, and my boss was running late. And so I started getting really worried for him. Because they were held up in all the traffic. Everybody was getting held up in the traffic. I came in so early. It was before. And I'm like, ooh, and I even got a hold of Gina. I'm like, I know it was somebody I work with. It was somebody I worked with. And then boom, I got the phone call. And I'm like, oh God, And so those times hit me out of the blue because I'm not ready for it. And I try to keep it walled off as much as I can. But things like the roommate I had here for a few months, I could feel every thought, even when I'm at my office and he was here. Every emotion, every crisis, everything that was happening with him, to the point where it started happening with me. That empathic trait is not good.
Yeah, it's
so when someone you care about is having a panic attack, it becomes your panic attack.
Right.
And you can't, you're like, where's this coming from? Because I'm fine. I'm reading a groundwater report and all of a sudden I can't breathe. Well, it wasn't mine.
Right. So that's almost a sympathetic reaction because, you are so close to that person or whatever that they're feeling. That is interesting to me.
But I have that with the dead on an investigation. I feel that level of response from them. Their pain, or
their emotions, their
anger, their bewilderment, their whatever. It becomes mine, and for that night, I accept it. Like, okay, I'm opening myself up. I'll let this happen, but I don't like it from the living because I'm not. I don't want. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it. But
there are some people that I've been connected to in that way, like you're talking about your roommate. That it's been years since I've associated with them, And even now, I will know when they're going through something, when they've been crying in their room, when they've been whatever they're doing. I'm still connected to them. That connection has never really broke. Though I don't know if you are, Colleen, when you feel that you're able to break that connection and be like, okay, I'm connected to this person, but a lot of their emotions
Nope.
are tied with drama and my own stuff. So I'm like, yeah, we're not going there. I'm not gonna follow down that road.
The connection I have right now going on with a particular person I cannot break, and it's my anxiety. I shake because and it's because of that, and this is when I have not been able to go, okay, it's not mine, I can't figure it out.
Well, it's funny, but so like, Doc, in your instance, you might not have spoke with that person for 20, 30 years. I mean, you look really good for 60, but what did Carter say?
I visit them through dreams and
right,
whatnot.
But you have that relationship with them. I know a ton of people. I know a ton of people. At one time, it would be like, hey Dwayne, whatever. But I don't have that circle anymore. And I knew a lot of people, so I don't know if this makes sense. I knew a lot of people, but I had a very small circle. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
But I never had that relationship to where I would, have to go out of my way. Now, with that being said, I don't dream. I very rarely dream. I have waking dreams like before my alarm goes off. And I actually had to tell myself, you need to stop having those scary ass dreams because you know what? That's not cool. So I trained my body to wake me up different ways. But I will tell Mud Lover,
at all, no dream?
Huh?
No dreams at all?
Very rarely. Okay, so let me take it back that I remember. How's that? Because they say that everybody dreams. I very rarely dream. But I will tell Mud Lover, hey, you know what? I had a dream about so-and-so, and I haven't talked to so-and-so in 30 years. I had a dream about a buddy of mine named Rob, and he had passed away. So, and we were really good friends, I guess, as far as I knew, we were really good friends. But it's just weird that I don't have that dream or that maybe, like you said, that I shut that down. Because, like I said, it's a rarity for me to dream. Mud Lover?
Well, I wonder if you're dreaming and you're not remembering them.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're remembering the ones that have that connection.
See, maybe so. And they say that everybody dreams,
Multiple times a night.
Yeah, it is very rare that I don't remember multiple dreams in one night, or that I don't visit people, or that I don't. It is very rare. I wake up exhausted sometimes.
See, and it's so funny that you say that because it's a rarity that Mud Lover does not dream. Okay. She's so active at night that, and that's just the way she is. That's the way she's wired. And it's because I don't. In fact,
let me ask you a question, Mud Lover. Do you think in your dreams?
Oh, yeah. They're like real life dreams. They're in color.
Yeah. And you think in your dreams, and you cannot be talking to them, but thinking about what you're going to do in your dream?
Yeah. And I analyze my dream in my dream.
Yeah. Okay.
She reacts in her dreams. It's from what she's told me.
Normal.
Is it?
Yeah.
And like
you're
I said,
abnormal, Max. No,
you're the weird one here. Let's point fingers.
But it's funny because, like I said, she will tell me step by step of of the dream that she had. She can tell me if it smelled in her dream,
Mhm.
she can tell me, she can talk to them, and in her dream, it comes out that she's telling them knock that whatever, knock it off, or come on in.
Mhm.
When it actually comes out in the middle of the night at 2:30, it's like, oh, no! Because that's what I hear. Right? I'm dead asleep, and I'll hear this just shriek. But yeah, exactly. But
She's
now,
so
now
quiet on our show, but she's
Yeah.
screaming all night long.
oh my god! And you know what's funny is don't ever let her quietness, because she can destroy every one of us. But yeah, it's just so funny because she's an active sleeper, and I'm not. I'm like, okay, good night, love you. Okay, and I'm done.
Wow.
I
But
had one the
she-
other day that I woke up so confused because the way that my dream happened, when I woke up, it wasn't like that. I was so confused for a split second. It was so bizarre. I was having a full-on conversation with Dwayne, and the TV was on, and my rain music had turned off, and I was like, then when I woke up, the TV was off, the remote was on my side, the rain music was on. It was just so bizarre.
in fact, that night we should do a show on dreams, because that night, the next morning, she goes, "Were you in the middle of the night watching TV?" I'm like, "No." "Did we talk?" "No." But it's just, I'm telling you, it's yeah. She's such an active dreamer. She gets steps in the middle of the night. That's how busy she is. Not me. I'm telling you. I will wake up, my pillow will be wet because I'm drooling. Not her, man. She's like, and that's just the way she is. She's a very active sleeper.
Oh my gosh.
I've noticed I've noticed that my dream patterns have changed through my life. Kind of a trauma response thing,
Yeah.
different things that have happened trauma wise, that it completely shifted my dream pattern, my dream, like what I'm working on in my dreams. It's really weird. It's really strange. And does that happen to any of you? Is that natural? I guess it would be, right?
When I was in high school, the night before a match or a tournament, I would sleepwalk, and I would talk to my mom, who'd be sitting out in the front room watching TV. If we came off like a stressful accident or a long fire, or a bad day at jail, I would react to that stuff. But and I think that's just a stress relief.
I think a lot of my dreams have shifted in the last couple of years to more visiting, going people. I'm not sure if it's something that I've projected and wanted to, because I've actually been trying to do that. But it didn't happen all at once, but it's happened more and more to the point where that's where it's at in this dream. But I've had dreams. I really don't remember if because mine have always been really bizarre, different entities, different people. I've had friends in my dreams that I would meet on a regular basis and have conversations with, and I knew their names, that I never met in real life, but I know them, I know their names, and I know where they lived, and I've met them various different times, and we've talked in dreams alone. So is that part of the astral projection or visiting people in my dreams? I would think I've been doing that for a long time, just didn't know.
See, but that goes back to your
Yeah.
gifts, pal.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know, so
definitely. Definitely.
None of you three can be used as a barometer because things affect you differently, right? And that's the problem, because if I go to Muddy and I go, hey babe, you know, XYZ 1, 2, 3, she's like, no. I'm like, are you kidding? No. But I can't use her as a barometer because it's not an expectation. You know, you have your baseline. If you're doing work, you have your baseline. Then you use your barometer to see, you know, ups and downs and whatever. And she just, if she reacts, it's usually 180 the other way.
Hmm.
So
It's
just
an interesting topic because we're
Very
all
much so.
incredibly different in how we
Mhm.
react
Yeah.
and what we experience.
Right.
I'm always kind of, we got to wrap the show up, I know, but I'm always
Already?
I'm always, yeah,
I know, right?
I'm always curious when we do our classes. For those of you who don't know, we teach a class on paranormal investigations at ISU in Pocatello in the fall. And it's always curious to me who enrolls, who bails immediately, because maybe for whatever reason, they just, nope, I can't, you know, like they wanted to dabble maybe, but it was too much. I have no idea why they bail. Who stays the course that has zero experiences, and who stays the course and it was the most magical thing that ever happened to them. It's really interesting. You have this wide barometer of people when they take the class, because
Sure.
you think most people who take
Yeah.
the class have some kind of gift. They want to explore it some more and really, really utilize it, but that's not at all. It's like a 50-50 in the class. I've never know. It's really, really interesting. And so everybody's so different.
Yeah.
That's like the first time I realized when I see pink, it may be not the same shade of pink that you see, or you see, or you see. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Definitely.
comes in
Yeah.
our eyes, see colors completely different. So what looks really, really pink to me may not look pink to you at all. And it's weird to wrap your brain around how different we all are and how
Yeah.
we
Specific
experience
gifts.
life completely different.
Yeah, and you know that is such an interesting statement for you to make, because gosh, this tastes really good. Here, taste it. Oh my God, this tastes good. But does it taste for me the same way it tastes for you? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I personally, I love chocolate. I love chocolate and different kinds of chocolates I like. Mud lovers like, I can eat like a whole friggin' candy bar in one setting. Trust me, I'm a trained professional. Muddy will actually buy a candy bar, and that's it.
It lasts me 6 months.
Yeah, that's Sherry too.
We had chocolate turn white from age in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, we have Thin Mints that we bought 2 years ago.
They're in the
And,
freezer.
I usually, you have to buy two, because one for the drive home, right? You know what I'm talking about, Dave.
Oh,
You
Yeah,
know
oh, yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about. One
Yeah.
package for the drive home, and not with her. I think we still have a package in the freezer from 2 years ago because of Mud Lover. And I'm like, well, yeah, go get some Oreos or
And you
whatever.
better not eat them.
you better not touch
Yeah,
them.
yeah, and I never
have-
got that
have
either.
an
I always buy
emergency
two.
chocolate. Yeah, I have an emergency stash of chocolate, because when you crave chocolate, nothing else will satisfy that crave.
That's
Nothing.
right.
Wait. I'm not gonna say I have my own stash, hidden, but I'm just gonna say that there's chocolate hidden in the house. Okay.
Yeah. So I've had to hide because I had another roommate, right? And she was a chocolate hound. And I had to stash it because she was really short. So I had to stash like all of my cupboards. Because it's like, when I want my damn Hershey bar, it better be there.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And if it,
Right.
just saying,
That's Mud Lover.
that's me.
You know, that's just the way she is. And I think that goes back to stability right? That goes back to that's how you ground yourself. I know that's there. I might not eat it today, but I
It's there.
know it's there.
It's a trauma
Well,
response.
I learned that from Weight Watchers years and years ago. I was like the Weight Watchers queen, right? And so I loved the Weight Watchers. I breathed the Weight Watchers. And they would tell you to keep the food that you crave in the house, but put away, because you will eat twice as many calories trying to solve the craving than just to eat the damn candy bar. They're like, just eat the candy bar, because you'll satisfy the craving where you'll eat a whole bag of chips and then you'll go get the candy bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that
It's
makes
like-
a lot of sense.
It makes sense. So just, you don't have to eat it every day, but it's there when you know. So I'm just saying. Okay. Anyway.
And if it's there, you won't crave it.
Well, I still crave it once in a while.
Because you know it's there.
Okay, I was at Costco. I went to Costco in Winco hungry last weekend.
Oh,
Don't
no.
ever do
Big
that.
mistake.
Oh,
Uh-uh.
no.
It was a $700 shopping trip.
Oh, yeah. No.
Okay. You have no idea how much food I have in my house. And one of them was the big box of candy bars. And then the bag of little Hershey's.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I went, what happened? I looked at my kitchen the next day.
That's the best time to take Mud Lover shopping, is when she's hungry.
Oh my God. I have.
We gotta
I'm
make two
like,
trips just to
oh,
pick our stuff up.
it's so bad. It's so bad. Anyway, all right. Thanks for joining the show tonight. We're going to sign off. We'll see you. Be sure to join our show, share our show, like and subscribe, do all of those fun things for us. Comment, share it with
Packy,
your friends. Our live show.
Packy, thanks for coming back. Exactly. Packy, thanks for coming back. And Carter, thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it, pal.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you next week.
Buenos snowshoes.